So last month I got together with a couple of my actor friends, Anya and Samuel, to create a fully improvised film scene. I've made a few of these before, and I'm always pretty pleasantly surprised about how they turn out. It's kind of this combination of narrative filmmaking with a more semi-documentary approach where the camera coverage, the actors' dialogue, pretty much everything about the scene comes together in the moment. I'm always interested in blurring the lines between more traditional narrative filmmaking and documentary. And while we still have some level of control and setup with this style of filmmaking, it definitely leans a little bit more towards an observational angle to capturing the performances. So let's check out this scene, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about how we made it.
Can you just call storage? It's just, hello? Hello? Sorry, do you know where the Blue Glass Coffee is?
It's just down the street and to the left.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, did you go to Johnson High?
Yeah.
Same.
Oh. Really?
Mia?
I'm not.
Sorry, you're...
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's,
Mia,
yeah.
you played volleyball?
Yeah. Yeah, this is crazy. Dan, right?
Daniel, yeah.
Daniel. Band?
You remember me as like Dan, the band kid, huh?
Yeah. Do you still play?
No. No, I don't play anymore.
Why?
It's a clarinet, you know. It's not. You can't do much with the clarinet.
That was cool.
Thanks.
How long have you been in the city? I
I moved in February. Yeah.
like it.
It's different.
Yeah, very different.
What about you?
6 years on and off, but I'm back now. Just moved back. Like the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Welcome back.
Thanks. What do you?
It's Agatha Christie. But it's really good. It is.
Sure.
What is that? I like it.
You fit right in, you know.
Okay. Okay.
And I read it. Maybe I'll have to.
I can give you this copy when I'm done.
Cool.
Should we get a drink or something?
Sure.
Friday.
Yeah.
Fred's. Like 7.
Perfect.
All right.
It's good
Friday.
to see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to see
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
On
That's
the
sweet.
left.
Okay. See you on Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what we came up with. Like I said, I'm always pretty pleasantly surprised with how these turn out compared to the amount of effort that they take. I mean, filmmaking is generally a extremely laborious task. Like you do a lot of planning, you put a lot of resources into it. But this scene came together via like 2 emails and then meeting up, chatting for an hour, filming for an hour, and then editing. So in comparison to making, say, a short film, I mean, it's a very light lift. And that's one of the reasons that I like this style of filmmaking is because I don't think filmmaking always has to be a difficult task, and it can be hard to actually like get the reps in that you need to get better if every project that you're doing requires kind of that full production workflow. So on the day of the shoot, Anya, Samuel, and myself all got together and grabbed a coffee. So we just got to know each other and also talked about kind of what our approach would be to making this scene. The main things I like to establish ahead of time are just basically who these characters are, what their relationship is, and then what is the sort of conflict or pivot point of the scene. So that way we have something to sort of work off of or towards. And that was basically as much planning as we did. So from there, we just walked over to the location. I had my camera in a backpack and I had a tripod, and then I put lav mics on the actors. And the first thing we did was a few takes of the wide shot. The actors tried all sorts of different types of dialogue, and we kind of just figured out the direction of the scene and how we wanted it to play out. Then we move on to the rest of the shots, and I just kind of feel it out about what kind of coverage you want to get. So in this case, since it's sort of just a back and forth conversation, it was pretty simple, like shot, reverse shot. But there was some blocking where they switched sides, so the coverage would kind of switch between characters as they moved. And then I also did kind of a roaming camera shot where the camera would follow the action, follow the lines of dialogue, pick up reactions, and just kind of get a little bit of additional coverage to cut to. And then in the edit, it can be a little difficult because the lines aren't consistent from take to take, so you kind of have to pick and choose various moments, try to use reactions to cover up different cuts of dialogue. So I did all the editing and color inside of DaVinci, and I also just put together a little musical cue using a MIDI keyboard and a VST plugin, and I actually just recorded that straight into DaVinci. So I never left DaVinci for the whole process, including the music. But yeah, one of the main reasons that I really like this process is because I think it leads to a very sort of realistic and grounded result. I think the actors are a little bit more on their toes with each scene, and there's nothing predictable about what's happening. They're not recalling a script. And so to me, I like that level of kind of intimacy and just realism that can create. And this is also just an approach that I'm exploring because I'm interested in creating films that rely a little bit more on improvisation, both from actors and from the camera perspective. And at some point, I hope to even make a feature film or something in more of the long form nature that is fully improvised and kind of takes a similar approach of having a structure but not a script, and then giving the performers room to create and also giving us room to find things along the way. So if this sort of philosophy and approach to making filmmaking a little bit more accessible and repeatable, if that's interesting to you, then stick around because I'm hoping to do a lot more of these in the future. And like I said, hopefully get into some longer form films in the future using the same approach.